So it's round 7 and 8 for the Irish Touring Car Championship 2011, and this time we're in Kirkistown, the Northern Ireland circuit on the Ards Peninsula. Kirkistown, based on an old airfield, it's faster than Mondello Park. Some people say it's tougher to drive, and it certainly needs a different setup. Relatively small grid by their lofty standards. Martin Tracy's certainly out on his own. A small entry specifically in the Super Touring class for various reasons. A lot of the drivers not out there working on cars, some new cars on the way in. So the Touring grid is the one everyone's watching, and they're the two front runners this year. Norman Fawcett, Norman Fawcett and Rob Savage. Keith Rabbit right in there too in his self-built Integra. Integra seemed to be the way to go in this class. But there's Fran Kearns in the blue Civic, Danny Callan and young Cian Carey right there, just 16 years old in the green and white Civic. They're just coming into shot now. There's Fawcett trying to hold off Rob Savage in race one. These two great battles between them. In fact, that's Keith Rabbit right with him, having split this pair. A little bit of a mistake for Rabbit, and he drops back at Colonial there. The corners, you've got to carry so much speed. It's very different to Mondello Park. Not quite as technical. The cars have to carry a lot of speed. Settings tend to be a little bit different. Big, long, fast straights. And this chicane, that's absolutely crucial, leads onto the long back straight. There's Phil Brennan in the M3 that he's built himself last year and developed over the winter. Going very quickly. Can't quite challenge Martin Tracy just yet. And just on the infield there we see Brian Sexton's Nissan, a new car to the series. A few teething problems. Didn't even test. Just finished yesterday afternoon. But very quick in qualifying. So watch out for Brian Sexton's Jomo prepared Nissan, which we will expect to see in the touring class. Great battles in this in the super touring class, I should say, for Sexton. But look at this, Fawcett and Savage. We've seen this before. Oh, and Fawcett a little bit late on the brakes there and just helped Savage off. Perhaps a little bit of payback for what happened earlier in the season to Mondello, and that's not particularly good. But that leaves Storm and Norman Fawcett out front. Fran Kearns in the old shape Civic right with him, trying to get a tow, clipping the curb there as they come through Detters, the quickest corner in the country. Flat out kink left-hander. Now on the brakes down to Colonial corner. Colonial 1, the right-hander, then Colonial 2. Then a short straight down to Fisherman's long right-hand corner, which leads back to the chicane. Great battle between these two. And there's Martin Tracy way out in front, the Sierra RS 500, the Westward Engineering car. Martin Tracy takes the win. Phil Brennan second, Norman Fawcett in third. He also wins the touring class again from Fran Kearns and Rob Savage in third.
We had a decent finish enough in the last round in Mondello. We won one race and we're third in the other. So to come here today again and win the first race and get pole and qualifying, I think I'm delighted. Couldn't ask for any better, to be honest. Car is dead reliable, so I think that's where it's at, to try and keep the reliability in the car. As they say, to finish first you have to finish, so it's what it's all about, you know. So well pleased now and looking forward to the next race. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes in the workshop, getting the car ready before any event, not just today. And to be honest, without them I wouldn't be here, because you will not do it all on your own, you know. So well pleased with the whole team now, to be honest.
I got on great now, to be honest with you. The car ran great, and the last 3 laps there now the tyres went off, so I had to actually push very hard. So I had a great guys there with Rob Savage there and Fran Kearns, but I kept it together in the end anyway, so I was happy out, you know. Up to today I was second in the championship. I was behind Rob Savage, so we'll see how it goes.
I have 2 friends racing in the race, Eric Kernel and Norman Fawcett, and Brian Sexton approached me, as you know, he's the organiser of itcc, and just asked me would I do it for them, and I said no problem. It's a bit of advertising for me, and it helps itcc out, so it's good, you know. Pete's Mobile Mechanics, I have it about 3 years now, and I have a mobile unit which I call to people's door and workplace and do the servicing and all that sort of things there. And they also have a unit up there in Ballycoolan and Blanchardstown, that a proper workshop where we do all the big heavy work of the engines and stuff as well. And I also have a recovery vehicle as well.
Well, Pete, the mobile mechanic there, €60 for a service, it says on his van. I wonder if he serviced any of these cars as they head through Detters again for race 2. And Martin Tracy already in the lead. Even Phil Brennan's M3 can't stay with the power of that big RS 500. So the touring class sorting themselves out. Big dive down the inside from Fran Kearns, passing Danny Callan in the Scanners.ie car. Eric Carroll right with him in another Integra. Cian Carey doing well. A lot closer to the pack than we've seen young Cian Carey go before. And he's right with some of the bigger cars. Martin Tracy in the Westward car, all his own sideways. Big effort there from Phil Brennan, really flinging the M3 round the hairpin at the end of the long straight, but just hasn't got the straight line power. Looks like it's Rob Savage leading this one now from Keith Rabbit that is next up. In fact, Norman Fawcett I think maybe ahead of these guys on the road because Fran Kearns right there with them, so a great battle, and Fran Kearns doing well. There's Norman Fawcett in fact up the road, going very nicely and well out in front of the rest of them. So some good battles there. Danny Callan right in there. There's Kearns down the inside now of Keith Rabbit in the Integra, into the hairpin, back out onto the main straight now, up through the gears. This is the start finish line. Then there's that flat out Kink Debtors that we spoke about before. Great corner, one of the most exciting corners in Irish motor racing, especially if you're side by side like these two guys. Danny Callan takes another place there from Eric Carroll down into Colonial 1. So great battles in this Super Tour, in the touring class I should say. Super Touring, we're waiting for Jonathan Brady to come back out. Barry Rabbit's going to do a few more races. Johnny Whelan. There's a lot of guys out there with the potential to have a go at Martin Tracy in terms of pace, so we'll eagerly await that when they come back to Mondello at the end of June. Here comes Cian Carey again, as we said, getting closer to the pace, just 16 years old, sponsored by his college actually, Rathout Community Schools. It was great stuff from him, so well done and well done to college for sponsoring that young 16-year-old budding racing driver there. Here's Martin Tracy one more time, absolutely nobody to touch him. Way back in the background, just coming out of Fisher Brothers, is Phil Brennan, but Martin Tracy absolutely way out on his own. And similarly in the touring car class now, Stormin Norman Fawcett in the plums and custard coloured Integra, way out in front there, nobody to touch him. Oh, mistake there for young Cian Carey. I must have given him the curse of the commentator there. Gathers a bit of grass, but Martin Tracy takes the win up front, nobody to touch him. A big wave to his supporters there at the chicane. Number 1, he's the champion last year. Is he heading for it again? So the results from round 8, race 2 at Kirkistown. Martin Tracy takes the win, Phil Brennan again in second, Norman Fawcett in third, and Norman Fawcett makes it the double in the touring class from Fran Kearns and Rob Savage.
It was good to get on the podium finally. I didn't get on the podium at all this year, and it's good to get there, even though partially it's due to the lower turnout, but sure, we'll try and get back there the next day, you know. Second place in both races. Started second in the first race and finished second, held my position in the second race. I got a good start, but Martin got a good start as well. He got me before Debtors, and that was it then. I just wanted to finish the race then and bring home the points, you know.
Came second in the touring class in Irish touring cars twice today, so very happy with that. Norman bet me twice, so he's got to get a bit of a slagging later for that. Well, I missed the first few races because my engine blew up, so I'm only out in the last 2 races, so I'm after getting first and then 2 seconds today, so I'd say I'm up a good few points now anyway, like wouldn't be up near the top, but getting there.
Well, that's all for this time. Irish touring cars are back out at Mondello Park on the 26th of June. For more information on the class, itcc.ie.